Sarah thrived on routine. Every evening unfolded the same way: a quick dinner, a book by the fireplace, lights out by 11. It was comforting, predictable, safe. Her old Victorian home, with its creaking floorboards and drafty attic, felt less lonely within the confines of her schedule. Tonight, however, a disquiet hung in the air, a prickling at the back of her neck. She brushed it off, blaming the approaching storm that rattled the window panes. Sleep came slowly, filled with unsettling dreams of shadows and whispers. Then a sound cut through the silence, 3 sharp raps echoing through the empty house. She sat bolt upright in bed, heart pounding. 3:33 a.m. The glowing red numbers on her alarm clock mocked her with their eerie precision. The sound, sharp and demanding, seemed to reverberate from every corner of the house. It wasn't the wind, she realized, her breath catching in her throat. The wind didn't knock. Fear, cold and sharp, pierced through her. She lay frozen, listening intently for any sound, any indication of an intruder. Silence. Had she imagined it? Slipping out of bed, she crept to the window, peering into the storm-ravaged night. The streetlights flickered, casting long, dancing shadows. Nothing, just the wind howling its lonely song. Relieved but shaken, Sarah returned to bed, the rhythmic tick-tock of her clock a counterpoint to the pounding of her heart. She told herself it was a bad dream, a figment of her overactive imagination. But deep down, a seed of doubt had been planted. The next morning, the events of the night seemed distant, almost unreal in the bright light of day. Still, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling of unease. She checked all the locks, the windows, even the rickety old door in the basement. Everything was secure. Days turned into weeks, each day an echo of the last, until one night it happened again. The knock. 3:33 a.m. This time there was no mistaking it, no dismissing it as a dream. Terror, raw and primal, seized her. Determined to get to the bottom of the mystery, Sarah started digging. She researched the history of her house, scouring local archives and online forums for any mention of strange occurrences. The house had a past, she discovered, but nothing that explained the chilling events. Sleep became a distant memory. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of leaves outside her window, sent her pulse racing. She started seeing things out of the corner of her eye, fleeting shadows, a flicker of movement in the darkened hallway. Her once beloved home had transformed into a prison of fear. Even during the day, an unsettling presence lingered, a feeling of being watched. Friends offered platitudes, suggesting she was overworked, stressed. But Sarah knew better. Something was wrong, deeply wrong. The 3:33 a.m. knock became a nightly ritual, each rap a hammer blow to her sanity. Sleep deprivation and fear gnawed at her, leaving her exhausted, paranoid. She felt like she was teetering on the edge of a dark abyss, about to be swallowed whole. One afternoon, while searching the attic for old photo albums, Sarah stumbled upon a dusty, leather-bound diary tucked away in a forgotten trunk. The faded ink and brittle pages spoke of a woman named Amelia, the original owner of the house from nearly a century ago. As Sarah delved deeper into Amelia's words, a sense of dread washed over her. Amelia wrote of strange occurrences, of whispers in the dead of night, and a constant feeling of being watched. And then she read it, the knock. Amelia, too, had been awakened by the same chilling sound, night after night. The diary entries ended abruptly, leaving Sarah with more questions than answers. What had happened to Amelia? And what was the significance of the 3:33 a.m. knock? Driven by a mixture of fear and morbid curiosity, Sarah intensified her research. She discovered that Amelia had died under mysterious circumstances, her death ruled an accident. But something didn't sit right. The details were vague, almost as if someone had wanted to cover up the truth. Through painstaking research and countless dead ends, Sarah unearthed a long-forgotten newspaper article hidden in the archives of the local library. The headline sent a chill down her spine. Local woman found dead in suspected murder-suicide. The article detailed Amelia's tragic demise, along with that of her husband, a prominent businessman rumored to have shady dealings. The article mentioned a witness, a neighbor who claimed to have heard a struggle, a woman's scream, and then silence. But the police had dismissed the neighbor's account, attributing it to the storm raging that night. A horrifying realization dawned on Sarah. Amelia's husband had killed her, silencing her forever. But why the knock? Was it Amelia, trapped and seeking justice from beyond the grave? Armed with this knowledge, Sarah decided to confront the entity. As the clock ticked closer to 3:33 a.m., she sat in the darkness, a wave of dread washing over her. The first rap echoed through the house, louder, more insistent than ever. Gathering her courage, she spoke into the darkness, her voice trembling. "Amelia, I know what he did to you. I hear you." The knocking stopped. A moment of silence stretched on, thick with anticipation. Then a soft whisper, barely audible, seemed to emanate from the walls themselves. "He's back." Terror, cold and paralyzing, gripped Sarah. He's back, but who? Amelia's husband was long dead, or was he? Suddenly the phone rang, its shrill tone shattering the silence. Caller ID showed a blocked number. With trembling fingers she answered. "Hello?" A deep, guttural voice, distorted and unfamiliar, sent shivers down her spine. "You shouldn't have dug up the past, Sarah. Some secrets are best left buried." The voice chuckled, a chilling sound that seemed to slither through the phone and wrap itself around her throat. "And now, it's time for you to join Amelia." The line went dead. Panic surged through her. He was here, in her house. The realization hit her like a physical blow. It wasn't Amelia's husband who was back. It was someone who wanted her to think that. The following days passed in a blur of police reports, interviews, and sleepless nights. Despite their best efforts, the police found no trace of an intruder. The phone calls stopped as abruptly as they had begun. The 3:33 a.m. knock never returned. Life slowly returned to a semblance of normalcy, but the fear lingered, a shadow lurking at the edge of Sarah's carefully reconstructed peace. She had escaped whatever evil had haunted Amelia, but the experience had changed her, leaving an indelible mark on her soul. The mystery of 3:33 a.m. remained unsolved, a chilling reminder that some secrets are best left undisturbed, and some doors best left unopened. The house stood silent, its secrets locked away, but Sarah knew, deep down, that some stories never truly end. They simply wait in the shadows, patiently biding their time.